Hi, I'm Ellie Glazer, founder and director of the Sovea Solution, where we're revolutionizing the way the world looks at weight loss. Today we're continuing with the first of the 7 Sovea keys for success, that being understanding the word change itself. So remember that change stands for courage, humility, accountability, necessity, gratitude, and enthusiasm. These are the 6 essential attitudes that you must embrace if you want real and lasting change to take place. Now, today we're up to the 4th letter in the word change, which is N for necessity. Now, if you missed any of the previous videos, you can watch them on our YouTube channel just by clicking on the link below. So luxury or necessity, you make the choice. It's only a matter of life and death, no big deal. So what do I mean by that? One of the most influential people in my life shared this brilliant idea with me, which I want to share with you now. The real definition of wisdom is not the ability to tell the difference between what's important and what's not important, although that's certainly a helpful skill. It's the ability to tell the difference between what's important and what's more important. That's real wisdom. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and venture to say that 99% of the people watching this video are not independently wealthy, living lives of constant pedicures and manicures, 3-hour leisurely lunches, and monthly vacations. Our lives are filled with taxing demands on our energy, our time, and our patience, professionally and personally. And multiply that by 10 if you got a family with kids. So simply put, we have a lot of important things to do each day. I mean, that's a given. But what's the most important responsibility that we have? Managing our own health, period. Or full stop, as they say on the other side of the Atlantic. Now, I call it the significance scale. We can determine the importance of something with 2 criteria. How much of it is in our control to make happen? And number 2, what's the consequence if it doesn't get done? So let's use the example of being a teacher or being a parent. Those are pretty darn important positions in life, I'm sure you'll agree. So they have huge impacts on the lives of their students and their children, to educate, to support, to encourage, and provide effective role models. I mean, that's really big stuff. But at the end of the day, the kids are still independent people who are going to make their own decisions. Therefore, the level of control a teacher or a parent has is significant, but certainly not absolute. And the consequence of being a dysfunctional teacher or an absentee parent is also astronomical. But we've seen the incredible resilience of children to overcome these setbacks and thrive in their lives. So I would certainly score a parent with a 9.5 on the scale from 1 to 10. And teachers are also pretty high up there. Now apply the same standard to any number of roles and responsibilities that we have in life. And we'll see where they fall out somewhere on our significance scale. We do it all the time while dividing our never-ending to-do list with luxuries and necessities. A luxury being something nice to accomplish, but if it doesn't happen, it's not such a big deal. The necessities are things that we prioritize because something meaningful will be missing if we don't get it done. Which brings us to eating, or more specifically, changing our relationship with food. How often do so many of us relegate our daily nourishment to the lowest rung of our priority ladder, commonly skipping breakfast, eating on the run, grabbing a little something here or there, and then inevitably making up for it by stuffing ourselves later in the day or endlessly noshing at night? Now, been there and done that. I'm guilty as charged. Now, a common cause of obesity actually is undernourishing during the day and overnourishing at night. Breakfast really is one of the 3 most important meals that we're supposed to have, for no other reason than it sets your metabolism to a high point soon after waking up, which enables you to have sustained energy and most efficiently burn calories throughout the day. Yeah, I'll pick something up if I can. I mean, that's a common and seemingly harmless refrain, but nevertheless, it's still a massive misprioritization of our time. Why is that? Because our self-care through proper nourishment is the most important responsibility we have to fulfill every day. It trumps everything else. Everything. Yes, even more important than taking care of our children. Now, wow, that seems like a pretty provocative statement, so let me explain. When you're getting ready to take off on a flight, the attendants review the safety instructions, right? In the event of a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will fall from the ceiling. Now, if traveling with small children, put your mask on first. Now, why isn't that a classic case of child neglect? Because if you're encumbered, you can't properly care for your children. And secondly, you're going to be able to do both. Now, changing your relationship with food, being willing to do whatever is necessary to heal your body from being overweight or obese and to break lifelong habits has to be your primary priority day in and day out. An attitude of necessity is essential for success. Your food plan is the constant and your schedule is the variable, not the other way around. Meaning that your breakfast, lunch, and dinner are the three most important appointments of your day, without exception. And there's no greater gift that you can give your children than a healthy parent. And I guarantee you that 99.9% of the time, you'll be able to do both. You'll have the time, energy, and focus to take care of all the other important necessities on your hectic schedule, including child care if you're blessed to have children, while still prioritizing your self-nourishment as number one. And in fact, if we're open and honest about it, you'll be much more capable of fulfilling your other roles because you won't be weighed down physically, mentally, and emotionally with your food obsession. You'll be healthier, freer, and more engaged. And to bring it all together, self-nourishment scores a 10 out of 10 on our significance scale. Because it's the only thing in this world that we solely do for ourselves. We are the final arbiter of what goes in our mouths. We make that choice, no one else. And God forbid we should ever be in a situation where we need to outsource our nourishment to someone else, where we're so incapacitated that we're incapable of feeding ourselves, or lose the ability to swallow that will require nutrients to be tubed directly into our stomach. Which brings us to the second criteria. What's the consequence if it doesn't get done? If we don't improve our relationship with food and continue to prolong the behaviors that have got us to this point? Now, we'll answer that question with the following true story. Now, Sammy is a good friend of mine, and he has a buddy named Dave. Now, Dave was a really overweight guy who one day suffered a massive heart attack. Now, following emergency bypass surgery, the doctor came into his room and said quite bluntly, if you don't want your wife to be a widow and your children to be orphans, you must change your lifestyle right away. Well, Dave certainly got the point, and for a few months he was really making great choices and prioritizing his health. But then one evening, Sammy ran into Dave at the buffet table at a wedding reception. He was pounding away at the fried chicken wings, sucking the meat and skin off the bones like a skilled artisan. Plate after plate kept disappearing. And Sammy just stood there in abject silence until he mustered up the courage to ask the obvious question. Dave, what are you doing? These wings are great, Sammy, especially the barbecue. He asked him again. Dave, what are you doing? These are delicious, man. The best wings I've had in a long time. Sammy asked again, but this time with a little more incredulous tone. Dave, what are you doing? What do you mean, what am I doing? Dave said as he licked the sauce from his fingers. What does it look like? I'm eating wings. No, said Sammy. You're not eating chicken wings. You're spitting in the face of your children by telling them that a chicken wing is more important to you than they are. And with that, Sammy walked away. So luxury or necessity, you make the choice. It's only a matter of life and death. No big deal. Thanks for watching.